everybody, it's Kathy Champion and you're back in my craft room here at Random Acts of Crafting. So come on in and we are going to make another card. I've been stuck on cards lately and I know that it might be boring for some of us, but I think a lot of us in paper crafting, our first love is cards, and I have been just so excited working with some of these Stampin' Up stamp sets and the dies and different things. So I wanted to bring to you today a card that's going to be a little different than maybe some of the cards that we traditionally see. This is going to be sort of a dimensional card, and it's going to be pretty stunning. So the idea that I have in mind is something like this. It's going to be like a frame card. And I did some markings in here. This is not the one that we're going to work on. We're going to build this brand new so that you can follow along with me. But we're going to feature this Birthday Jubilee stamp set. And this is the Stampin Up. And it also comes with coordinating dies. So I have pulled one of the dies out. And it was this one right here. It also comes with these two plates that will make the die goes right here. And there's also a leaf that I had pulled out that goes right there. It also has the smaller flower that it will cut out with that, the spray of flowers it cuts with this, and then you've got this little border punch, and you also have these two base plates. And I'm going to show you, because I did cut those out because I wanted to show you. This is this one, and it makes a beautiful piece that would be lovely on a card like this. I kind of wanted to show you this so you can actually see what the dies do. And isn't that gorgeous? Or you could go with this one, and you just have to cut two of them. You have one of each, but you could cut two and make a card like this. And then you could put the spray of flowers in between. You could put the happy birthday on a piece of dimensional foam tape and have it up. There's just so many different ways that you could use this. You could ink blend these pieces. I just thought it was a lovely way to design a die set, and it makes it so versatile because you can do so much with it. We will definitely get back to doing a card with these background pieces, but for right now I just want to concentrate on this particular card. So what I have here is I have a scrap piece of paper that we're going to use for stamping, and we are going to be stamping this beautiful spray of flowers. We're also going to be stamping the Celebrating You is Best, and those will get inked up in a few minutes. I have two of my layering stitch dies, and the larger one measures 3 1/4, and this one measures 2 3/4. So these are the two dies that we're going to use, and I'm going to use those in kind of an untraditional way, and I think it's going to be really cute. What I want to do to start with is I have a mat of black that I want to do the matting on the outside of the card with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my school board or trimmer, and I'm going to put this in at 4 1/4, and I'm going to score. And then this piece is ready for our card base. So we're just going to go ahead and get that folded. I'm sorry for the glare that's coming in. The sun is setting, and it's setting over behind my house, or in front of my house I should say, and it is putting quite a bit of a shadow in here this evening, but we'll bear with it. This piece, along with this piece, we are wanting to cut the windows out. Now the larger window will need to be cut out of the black piece. So we are going to lay our die about like that, and what you want to do, I tell you what, let's measure. We're going to actually measure this so I can tell you about what the measurements should be. If you're one of those people that need to measure, you need to come down about a 1/2 inch from the top and about 3/8 of an inch on each side. I'll tell you what, let's see if we can come up with that a little bit better than 3/8. I know y'all hate 8s. I don't blame you, especially if you're new at crafting. Sometimes, let's just do a 1/4 inch. You want to get it as close to that 1/4 inch on each side as you can, and it's probably going to be a little bit over, but that's okay. Once you get your measurements and you get this where you need it, you can use a piece of sticky tape, or you can do what I've been doing lately. My sticky tape has been tearing my cardstock lately, so I am finding that if I just take a sticky note and put on my die, this holds my die without causing me grief and pain. Now I am going to try to back up without running over a puppy dog, and I'm going to grab my die machine. I'm going to bring this over and actually cut this on camera, and I normally don't do that. I usually take them off camera, but I thought since this is something a little different, I'm going to actually bring this on and do it on camera. So this is my little Revolution die cut machine. So I'm just going to lay this in, and it helps if you're doing a square to kind of angle it just a little bit. And what that does, let's see if I can get this magnet on here straight. What this is going to do is it's going to allow it to go through without making that loud popping. It's easier on your machine, it's easier on your dies, and it also gives you a better cut. So if you've been struggling with straight cutting on a square die or a rectangular die, try turning it to an angle. Like you see, I have this one, and try and see if that doesn't help quite a bit. So I'm going to pull that sticky off, and as you can see, we did not tear our paper, and we have a beautiful die cut. Now we're going to hang on to this piece because this can be used on another card. It's already stitched. Can you see that? It's stitched around the edges, which makes for a very nice piece if you needed it for another card, which we always need things for other cards. Now the other thing I want to do, and I did not grab an embossing folder. I want to run this piece through an embossing folder because I want to give it some texture. So let me grab an embossing folder and I will be right back. Okay, I grabbed this embossing folder. This is a Cutterbug and it's called Mosaic. And this is an old one that I've had for quite some time, so I don't even know if you can still find these. But anyway, any embossing folder that you happen to like will work. And we're just going to lay this in like that. Close our folder up on it, lay it on top of our magnetic plate, and then grab your plate that says embossing. That's all you have to do for embossing with this particular machine. Now if you're using a different machine, follow your machine's instructions on how to emboss, because every machine is different. So you just have to find what works for you. But this works really good for this little Revolution. And then when you finish, look at that beautiful texture. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. And it's raised up, and I want to use the emboss side. If you turn it over, you have a deboss side on this side, and it's pushed in, whereas on this side it's raised up. So emboss, debossed. So I'm going to use the emboss side. So I'm going to lay my little embossing thing right there. Now I need to sit this machine to the side just for a moment because we need to do a little fancy footwork before we actually cut the other piece out, which is on this card right here. Now I'm going to use a little bit of temporary adhesive. I've told y'all how much I love using this stuff, and the reason I love it so much is because it allows me to place stuff down and hold it in place. So this is put out by Glue Dot, and I actually got this at Tuesday morning, and I love it because it is so good at allowing you to put some adhesive down that you can actually peel back up. So we will peel this back up when, you know, to put our permanent adhesive on it. But this piece is going to go right there, just like that, getting your little 1/4 inch border around it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that smaller die and we're going to sit it down inside here, just like that. And you want to even it up so that it fits perfect within that frame. And we're going to cut a window out of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that same piece of sticky that I had earlier, and I'm just going to mash it down like that. And I want to take this off because I do not want to run this through the embossing machine. It will flatten out all of my work that I've done. So I'm just going to hold that in place as I peel that off. That's why that's so important. Then we're going to open this card up because we don't want to cut through the back. We only want to cut the front. So I'm going to bring my machine back over. And this is the reason why I said I wanted to show you on the machine exactly what I'm doing so that you can get a feel for how to do this. Now this piece, I don't think I can get it in at an angle, so I'm going to have to go straight on. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay that plate over it, and we're going to push it through, crank it through. And I always do it back. It's a habit. I don't think you have to, but it's just the way I roll. And now you have this window cut out of the front of the card itself. Okay? And again, you've got this beautiful white piece that's been stitched. See the little stitching on it? Save that because you can definitely use it on another card. So always take advantage of your pieces like that. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put this away for right now. And if we need to, we will need to bring it back out shortly because we will cut, and I might just take these other simple pieces and cut them off camera because, like I said, you don't need to watch me die cut. The only reason I did this is I wanted you to see where I was going with that. Now when you put this back on, we're actually going to pop this up on some dimensional so that it will sit up over top of that window and it will look so pretty like that. So now what I want to do is we're going to concentrate inside here, and inside here is where we need to concentrate our sentiment, whatever we want to put under there. And I want to do something, I'm going to try stamping. Let's see. We could definitely do a diamond. How pretty would that be? Let's see if we can get that to fit in there just perfectly. It needs to go up just a hair. And that's the hardest thing when you cut a window out of the front of a card, is trying to get your other pieces to fit in there. And if you don't want to fumble with that, which I don't think I do, I'm just going to stamp right in the middle. So what I'm going to do to make sure that I know where my middle is, I'm going to take a pencil and I'm just going to eyeball what I think the middle is, and I'm going to put a tiny little dot, just a wee tiny dot right in the middle. That lets me know, even when I open this up, that I need to center my sentiment, which will be this, right over top of that. Just like that. So let me get a stamp block, and I'm going to grab this one. Let me line up my stamps. And let's see if we can get that even. And then we're going to pick it up like so. And then we need to ink this up. And I'm going to use the Memento, just because I happen to have it here, right here at my fingertips. And I want to make sure I get it really good in ink because I want it to go down where it needs to go, and I don't want to have to come back. And it is a little distressed, so it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. That's the way the stamp is supposed to look. And we are going to come right down over the top of that dot, right about there. And I'm just going to press it, put some even pressure on it, because I do want to get a good transfer. And once I get that down like that, perfect. Now when we close this, we should look pretty well centered. And I think that's gonna be okay. We're gonna do a little test here, and if it's not, you know what we'll do? We will cover it with this, and then we can always put this in over top of it. And we may have to do that because it does look a teeny bit off to me. So I'm going to lay this back down over top of my piece. And that needs to come down just a hair. Just like that. And yeah, see, that does look off a little bit. So I am going to do that. I'm going to cover that up, and I'm going to use this piece right here. I may even, to give it a little more emphasis on the inside, I might even use this piece and put this piece down. I tell you what, let's stamp. Let's go back and re-stamp this. And I think I'm going to grab a different ink. I think I'm going to grab this Versafine Onyx Black. And this is always my favorite ink for sentiments. And I always get a much better impression with this. Let me cover that up before I stick my hand in it. And then I'm going to go right into the center and stamp. Nice, firm, even pressure. Oh, that's beautiful. That is much better than the one that was in here. Look at the difference. See how bright and vibrant this one is compared to that one? That is the difference in Memento versus Versafine ink. So the times that I use the Memento is usually when I am working with alcohol markers. I will use it. But when it comes to sentiments, look at that. It is gorgeous. So now what I want to do is I want to put this down, and I am going to even it out just like that. And I think I'm just going to use some liquid glue to glue this down with. This will put this down really good, and it will hold it well. And it will give us a little bit of wiggle room to get our border perfect. Just like that. And now we can put this in here, and to center this up is going to be so easy because all we have to do is get it just like that, move it down to where this is fitting in perfectly. Just like that. Use your eraser, because a lot of times you can move stuff with your eraser. And look, it fits in there perfect. And now the best way to do this so that you make sure that you're getting it glued exactly where you want it is hold it there, turn it over, put some glue down on your black piece. And now all we're going to do is fold this over onto it. Just that simple. And put some nice even pressure. You might even want to take your bone folder and just go over it very gently. Just to kind of squish that glue down. And I'm going to get my pen back in my glue. And now we're going to turn that over, and we have that. Look at the fit. That fits in there beautifully. But now we're going to take this back off again. We had it in there just so we could get our inset put in. We're going to use some dimensional foam tape. And I am going to use sorry, I dropped something I had to pick up. I'm going to use my Scotch 3D foam tape, and I am going to cut some strips off of this. About like that, and I'm going to put one right to the edge. And I'm going to cut another little piece off, maybe about like that, and I'm going to put this piece right here, and then I'm going to cut some links about like this, but we're going to cut these in half. And this is very easy to cut in half because you can just follow the plaid, and you usually can cut this pretty right on the mark. Just by going straight up like that. And then you can lay this out onto your side. And if it's still a little bit too wide, you know, you can cut that in half. It don't take a whole lot of this to make it the dimensions that you need. And this is really not hard to do. There we go. So now I'm going to take this piece and just butt it up to that, and I'm going to bring it straight up here to the top, and I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to take these little pieces that are left over and just glue them right in here to fill in. Now we have this piece, we're going to take it across here. Do the same thing, cut it off even with the card. And another little piece that can go right down here. And now we have this piece, and I think this piece might fit. Right down to there. And if you want to, you can probably, nope, I didn't want to peel back up, so we're going to leave that alone. Maybe we can put a piece right in here. That'll work. So now this is ready to put down onto the front of our card. So I am going to grab my little pick tool, and I'm just going to peel off all of my backing. Just continue to peel it. Just like that. Once we get this all off, I am going to reinforce this with a little bit of liquid glue. And the reason for that, twofold. Gives it some extra hold, and it also will give me some wiggle room. Because when you lay this tape down, it sticks where it goes. So I want a little bit of wiggle room so that I can make sure I get this placed like I want it. So again, I'm going to take this out, and I'm just going to run a tiny bit of glue over this. This is not going to hurt a thing by reinforcing it, and it's just going to give us a little wiggle room to be able to get that laid down like we want it. You do have to work pretty fast because liquid glue does have a tendency to want to dry on you really fast. So I'm going to actually hold this like this, and I am going to bring it down just like this and get it positioned exactly over top of the square. Moving it up and over, making sure that my border is the same all the way around. And see what I mean about the wiggle room? You need that wiggle room because this is the hardest part of making this card, is getting this down like you want it. Once you get it though, you're good, and you just take and press down on it, and now you have that great dimensional frame. You have this beautiful thank you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stamp this stamp out, and this is where we're going to use that scrap piece of paper. And I am going to, since I want to make sure that I'm using some alcohol, I'm going to use alcohol markers to color this. I'm going to stamp it in the memento. And I'm also going to come back, and on the same one, I'm going to stamp this little flower out in several places. So I'll do this, I'll get this stamped, colored, and cut, and then we will meet right back up and we'll finish putting this card together. So just like that, a nice beautiful image that we can color with our alcohol markers, and I'm going to stamp some of the smaller ones, and like I said, I will be right back. Alright, we are back, and as you can see, I've got this piece cut, and how cute would this be right here? I think that would be so super cute right there. But I also have another idea. Do y'all remember when I did the card with the To a Wild Rose? And I showed you how to layer these. Well, I used the dies that came with that stamp set, and I cut these out. Look at this. Look how pretty these would be. I think they're a little bit too big with using that sentiment on the inside, but isn't that pretty? I could see doing this maybe with one here and one here. You would have to make a larger envelope, and I would definitely put these on the back of a heavier cardstock. But that's another option. So, you know, you can do stuff like this and just put a rose on the corner of it. Just another suggestion on how you could decorate that. But I really do think I want to go with this. This was my idea when I started, and I've got these little flowers that we can actually decorate. We could put them inside. We could put them around the Celebrate You, and I really think that's where I want to go with these. I think I want to just maybe go inside the card and glue them in just all around this frame. I think they'll be so cute because we are celebrating this person's birthday. You know, whoever you make this card for would have to feel very special, that they would get something so beautiful. And why don't we do this? Let's do the 2 blue at the top. And let's do a pink one here, or maybe the yellow one. Let's do the yellow one here. Oops, almost dropped it. And then we got this pinky one, peachy. That's what it looks more like, a peach. And put it right there. Now let's see, I like that. And then with these, because it all coordinates, look how pretty that looks. We're going to cut a piece big enough to go across the top that says Happy Birthday, Celebrating You. I love the way this card is coming together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put down some glue, and I want to put these flat down on here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue and then lay these down where I want them to live. And I think right about there. And this leaf is going to be hanging down instead of up, because I want them to look like they just kind of fell there. You know, little flowers just kind of floated through the air, and I love flowers. I think they're so pretty. Flowers and butterflies, everything that just screams spring. Okay, we're going to turn this one around just a little bit. I don't want that leaf to be up, obscuring the Celebrating You is the best. So I'm going to put this right here. Maybe up like that. And then we'll do the same thing over here on this corner. And this one's going to come up like that. There we go. Oh, that's so cute. And now with this one, we only want to put the glue on this bottom, the bottom side. So right through here is where I want my glue to go. So I'm going to go just like that, and then grab it up and bring it and just sit it right down, right about there. We don't have to do a whole lot of dimension with this card because we popped that frame up that we made. And how stinking cute is this? So now all we need to do is get our piece of white. And let's see, I have another piece of white right here. So I'm going to stamp the Happy Birthday, and I'm wondering if I want to stamp it in a color. How cute would that be? Let's see how this is going to look right there. Oh, right there. Yes, yes, yes. I think that's going to be cute. Or maybe even bring it down to here. Let's go ahead and stamp it out on our piece of paper. I think I'm going to stamp it right here. And let me get out the block to put that on. And y'all, look at these blocks. They come in so many sizes. You have a block for just about any size stamp that you need. I mean, it's wonderful. So, do I want to do that orange and play on the orange up there? I think I did. And you know, if we don't like it, we can always restamp it. That's what I always say. You know, try it, and if it works, great, and if it don't, then trash it and try it again. Love that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, that turned out so pretty. Let me just make sure I get the orange. I think that's going to go really good together. So I'm going to set that stamp over here. I'm just wiping these off a little bit so that I can clean them when the video's over. I will take my stamps and clean everything just like I want it. I'm going to just bring this to my trimmer, and I'm going to trim this out so to make sure that I'm getting a nice even edge on it. I'm going to line that up and slice. And I'm going to turn it this way and bring it up to about here. Bring my arm down and slice. Isn't that pretty? I love that. I think it's just darling. It does look like it's a little wonky right there, so let's put it back up here. Yeah, it is. A little bit wider on this one end than it is up there. Yeah, we'll make that work. So what I'm going to do now is I want it to have a little ribbon tail on each end. So I am just going to snip in the middle, and then I'm going to angle from this side to that middle. I need to go in a little bit deeper, and then do the same thing over here. Just snip into that middle, and we're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to go about to there, and snip up to that, and then here to here. And now we have this beautiful banter that we can stick right on the front, and I think we might even pop that up a little bit. Yeah, I think we will. And I'm just going to use some of the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to pop that up with. And I will list all the stamp sets that I used, and the inks, and the dimensionals. Everything will be listed in the video. It'll be in the description below, and it also will appear on the screen as I show what I'm doing, which you've probably already seen that. By the time when I'm doing the video, I don't think to tell you that, and then at the end of the video I tell you, and it's like, oh really? You know what? I love it like that. We don't need that middle dimension though. Oh, let's see if we can pull that one back up without messing up our piece. Nope. Okay, so maybe we won't, you know what? Nah, it needs to be a heavier cardstock to do that. So I think we're just going to put it, maybe we'll do it like this. That will give us that illusion of the edge without it being totally off. Yeah, we can do that. Alright, I'm going to take and pick off these backers. And then we're going to stick it down about like that. Oh, I love that. That is a beautiful card. Now you have plenty of room down here, over here, to write a sentiment, and if you needed to, you could always put something on the back. So that little card, again, came together beautifully, and we showcased our stamp set called Birthday Jubilee, and it comes with the dies. The dies are Jubilee Beauty, and this set is one that I am sure that you will want to have this one in here for birthdays. It's got friend on here, and it says you deserve the best of everything. You got some little X's with the little dimensions, and then you've got these little things that look like tiny flowers. Just so much that you can do with this. I could see doing a background paper and stamping these little flowers and coloring them, sort of like we did here, but that would be a background paper. So many possibilities. I think that came together so cute, and I love it. I hope that you did. I hope that if you try a card like this, or something similar, by using the dies and making this frame, that you would let me know, that you would post it in our Facebook group. Go over to Facebook and type in your search bar, Random Acts of Crafting by Kathy Champion. You go in, just ask to join if you haven't already, and we will get you in ASAP. I try to check those 2 or 3 times a day to make sure if there's people waiting, they don't have to wait a day or two to get approved. So you can go over there and share all your projects. Not even if it's not something you saw me do, it could be something that you just want to show to inspire others. You can share your projects right there. Again, if you want to shop for any of these supplies, click the link that's in this video. It will take you to my Random Acts of Crafting page, and there you will see the Stampin' Up logo, and under it, it will say click here. You can click there and it will take you directly to my site. You can do your shopping right there. And if you are interested in seeing a catalog, there is a place on that website where you can go down and download the catalog onto your phone, laptop, or computer, and then you can browse the catalog. The new catalog is coming out June the 3rd. So, so excited about some of the new products that they are offering. So many of our favorites have retired, but we've got some really new stuff coming that I know you're going to be very excited about. So, join me in my quest of Stampin' Up, and also join with me in prayer, witnessing, encouragement, and just try to be the best possible you that you can be. And I always say this in closing because this is something that means so much to my heart, and that is this one statement that says, "Let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven, for He is so worthy." He is worthy of our praise, He's worthy of our honor, He's worthy of our life. So when you encounter other people, always ask yourself, am I shining the light of Christ to others, or am I shining a bad light? If you are shining Christ's light, you will always be in perfect company. I love you so much. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of my crafty family, for liking my videos. We're getting there, y'all. We're moving up towards 700, and then I'm only 300 away from that 1,000 that I have been waiting so long to get to. So I'm hoping that by June the 23rd I will be there. That is my goal. I'm setting that goal, and I am believing that I'm going to make it. So with your help, if you will share, like, and comment on my video below, it would be so appreciated. God bless you always, and may He keep you in the safety of His hands. And until we craft again, I love you all very much. Bye-bye.